You're watching the Atlanta Braves Fan Show on Fan Media Network. Hello, everybody. I'm Ryan Siegel, joined alongside with Gardie and Gardie, what a difference a month makes. What a difference a season outlook is now. Yeah, golf clap that up. Golf clap that up. The Atlanta Braves are hot, boys and girls. They are hot.
Damn hot, real hot.
They are hot. 21-5 in the month of June with one game to play tonight against the pesky Fightin' Phils in Philadelphia. But 21-5, including, I believe, a 13-game winning streak, kind of little sprinkle in there. But Gardie, again, we've been talking a lot about, kind of just the Braves in the month of June. And, I know about a month ago now, we were saying, it's the same old Braves fighting to keep, a 500 record. But now the Braves are 3 games back on the Mets, who seem to be imploding, seem to be imploding. And again, 2 games up on the first wild card spot. Gardie, your kind of thoughts here as the Braves have started a red hot and are now finishing a red hot month of June.
I'm just going to take this moment, give myself a little pat on the back. What did I say? It was just May. We've been to this rodeo. And we're even at a better point now because we're not at 500 going in 2 weeks before the All-Star break. But the Braves did exactly what I said. They just needed a little bit warmer weather. The bats needed to heat up. That cold air, that April, May air their muscles weren't loose enough. I don't know, but they're doing it. They're doing that thing. 14-game winning streak to start June. That is unbelievable. They're doing something that we have said for 2 years now that they didn't do well enough. They're beating and sweeping teams that they should beat and sweep. They're getting out the brooms. They went down to Ace Hardware and they got those big wide johns that you push to do your sidewalks. That's what they're using right now. They're taking that out against the Pirates, the Rockies, the Nationals, the Cubs. They're beating bad teams. And what happens? You keep winning baseball games, you go up in the standings. It just makes sense. And also, for all those people who were poo-pooing them in May and talking about the Mets, all the Mets did was win by beating those bad teams. And the Mets are imploding. Like, hey, ground control, failure to launch right now. Lost 5 out of their last 7. Their fan base is imploding because they're fake fans. They're fickle fans. It's a fickle organization. The Braves, are doing exactly what they need to do. And by the way, Ronald Acuna Jr. hasn't even played for the last couple of days. He's been resting his foot. I feel like Stephen A. Smith right now.
Absolutely. But again, looking into a hot month, Michael Harris kind of coming out of nowhere here for the Braves in 26 games played in the month of June. He is hitting .351 in the month. Dansby Swanson hitting .339. Travis d'Arnaud hitting .323. Ronald Acuna Jr. hitting .279. And as you mentioned, not playing every game in the month of June. And a lot of Braves also, as we get closer to this All-Star break, towards the top of All-Star fan voting as of this past week. Travis d'Arnaud sitting second amongst catchers in the National League. Matt Olson in the top 4, with first baseman sitting in 4th. Ozzie Albies sitting in 2nd. Austin Riley sitting at 3rd. I think he should be an All-Star, but with Manny Machado and Nolan Arenado both as third baseman in the National League, a little bit tough sledding for young Austin Riley. Dansby Swanson, 2nd in All-Star voting. William Contreras, I'm going to now say 1st in All-Star voting if Bryce Harper is truly done for the season on a broken thumb. And then in the outfield, you have Ronald Acuna Jr. sitting 2nd in All-Star voting amongst outfielders right now. So, the Braves have a lot of talent and a lot of irons in the fire in that kind of world right now. And Gardie, again, talk about it from this standpoint. Again, the Braves are finally getting, and you might have said it already with those warm bats. But those warm bats are now hot in the month of June, and it'll be interesting to see if they can keep it to July.
Yeah, I think they can though, and that's I think what you're seeing. Yes, they lost 5. They lost 5 games in June. How could they? But yeah, they did lose a series against the Dodgers. But that's going to happen over the course of a season. Nicks, bumps, people getting hurt. Ronald Acuna Jr. having issues, especially. By the way, let's just take a timeout here, real quick. The man is a young guy. He's in his early 20s. He tore his ACL the day before the All-Star break last year. He's already back playing, hitting moonshots, and he is second in outfielder voting for the All-Star game. Less than a year from him tearing his ACL. That is preposterous. Like, I don't know what radioactive spider that guy touched, but I would love to know. I sleep wrong and I pull a muscle. This guy tore his ACL and he's going to be an all-star again.
You're absolutely right.
It's nuts.
You're absolutely right. And as we mentioned, even young Matt Olson or younger Matt Olson sitting fourth in voting, sitting actually one place behind former Brave Freddie Freeman, who is in some interesting predicaments out in his own right in LA. Freddie Freeman firing his agency after reports coming out about how his whole negotiation went down with Atlanta. Freddie Freeman wanting to stay a Brave, wanting to remain an Atlanta Brave. But, you know, when we originally talked about him moving to the Dodgers, not feeling the love. Well, apparently the love was being sent to him and his agent was running interference. Gardie, I think this is really the first time. Like, I know we talked about this pre-show, but just what the hell happened?
That is exactly what I am so confused, because a lot of different reporters and non-baseball, you know, not the John Heymans of the world, are talking about this now, and they're giving out these reports, and it doesn't make sense. And Dallas Braden said it too. And I'm just gonna, you know, I'll talk a little bit while I'm looking this up, but Freddie Freeman apparently wasn't feeling the love. We talked about this. We were like, what are you doing, Atlanta? Why are you giving up your generational talent? This guy who's been in your system. He's a hometown hero. You just won a World Series with him. He's been an NL MVP. He's a Gold Glove candidate at first base. What are you doing? And it turns out that wasn't the case, apparently. But at the same time, as Dallas Braden, I can't find it, I'm going to paraphrase it. He said pretty much, you're Freddie Freeman in Atlanta. You've been there for as long as you have been. You've been the player that you have been. There's no possible way that the only way that you were hearing things from the Braves organization was through your agent. So it's confusing. It's a very muddied water, and it gets even muddier when you take into consideration Clayton Kershaw's comments over the weekend, because objectively, the way Freddie Freeman behaved as a Braves fan, you love to see it. How as he returned to Truist Park, he got his World Series ring. He, you know, there's that picture of him sitting in the away dugout, all of his team's up against the fence, and he's sitting there like on the bench, just looking so unhappy in that Dodgers gray uniform. He cried. He couldn't do the media things. Like, all that looks great to a fan, but as Clayton Kershaw said, he literally, as I know you saw, I hope we're not second fiddle. We have something good going here in Los Angeles. Yeah, no. Oh, really, Clayton Kershaw? You mean you didn't just, win a World Series or something recently? I don't know. But it is really interesting, and it's something to consider. Like, when we're talking about what the Braves are doing right now, how does that impact it? Because Matt Olson actually has started really coming into his own. He hits a ton of doubles, which honestly, in today's game and looking forward into where the shift is going to change next year, where you can only have two guys on either side of the bag, I feel like, not hitting home runs and being able to hit doubles, get on base, have that high OPS is actually going to matter more. But at the same time, Freddie Freeman was your guy during the lean times. You went from Chipper Jones to Freddie Freeman. I feel like in the Braves organization, when you think of that who's the guy on the poster of little kids' walls in Atlanta. And I don't know about you, Ryan, but I just it's confusing and it's money, and I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you in not knowing how to feel about this. I think that, again, there's got to be something for how are you only hearing information from your agent when you are a generational talent? You are the face of the Atlanta Braves franchise for 11 years. Your first 11 years, you were there from age 20 to age 31. You were a 4-time or a 5-time All-Star with the Atlanta Braves, and you just won a World Series. Where are you not getting your information from? And how is there not somebody with a direct line from your organization or from the Braves organization to you? If they feel like, we're talking about showering the love and everything, it seems like there was clearly some love given if we're firing agents over what happened. Or he's just all of a sudden realizing, the warm reception he gets back going back to Atlanta And all of a sudden you realize maybe, you know what, maybe, all the love I was saying I was not feeling didn't matter. They still love me here. The organization might not have shown it to me, but the fans sure as hell did. And I think that that's something that's very, very interesting going forward. And you know what, Clayton Kershaw, unfortunately, for a guy who's been in an organization for 11 years and is coming back and has a ring ceremony in his first day back in Truist Park, it's gonna have that second fiddle feel. Because again, this is a guy who didn't want to leave. He mentioned throughout the offseason that he did not want to leave the Atlanta Braves organization. And again, money talks. And, from that standpoint, he left for money, and, you wished him nothing but the best. And if it were me, and I'm as a competitor, and Gardie, you're a former athlete, and I'm a former athlete as well, to see somebody in the jersey that you wore doing just as well at your position in a place that you never wanted to leave really has to sting. Like, it'd be a lot different if, Matt Olson was playing like garbage. To see him doing well probably just really sticks the knife in a little bit further.
It has to, especially when I just looked this up. Freddie Freeman hit 318 with 2 jacks and 5 ribbies in the World Series alone. The most telling thing that you said in all of what you just said is 11 years with an organization. You win them a World Series for the first time since 1995. You're the face of that team. You're the captain. You are the lightning rod. And you hit 318 in the World Series to give them that. I would be upset too. And also what we talked about pre-show, the only thing that I think could have happened is they're in those talks. Freddie Freeman's agent said, "Oh, I could get you out. You're worth so much more money than that. How could you?" The Braves gave him a good offer. They did. It was 6 years, hundreds of millions of dollars to play a game. Let's just remember that too. Not saying that there's anything wrong with people getting paid that much, because that's the beauty of capitalism. The market dictates how much they're worth. But clearly, his agent went back and tried to overextend Freddie Freeman on Freddie Freeman's behalf, his hand. And the Braves said, "This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to pay," which is pretty much what they paid Matt Olson over a 2-year longer contract. And the guy said, and definitely played that bluff game where he thought, "Oh, they'll come back to us with a better offer if we turn this down." And they didn't. They turned around, they traded for Matt Olson. And to what you just said, it makes sense. And to be honest, I bet you in Freddie Freeman's mind, he's going if he's a Hall of Famer, which right now he's probably on track to be a Hall of Famer. His bust is going to have an Atlanta Braves hat on it. It's not going to have a Los Angeles Dodgers hat. It's not going to have if he plays for other teams. It is going to be an Atlanta Braves hat, and you're never going to take away from that. And you still could be a great player for a team and still be a great part of that team, but I think the audacity of Clayton Kershaw to say you can't do that is outrageous. But it is June 30th. Let's start on July with another 14-game run going into the All-Star break. Rye, finish us off. Give us that shtick.
Yep. And again, we are a fan show, so we want to hear from you, whether it's at home, on the road, in Truist Park, or out of Truist Park. We want to hear from you. If you have any good stories in this run up to the All-Star break in 2 weeks' time, we want to hear about it. Maybe we'll even tell your story on the show. But again, thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Atlanta Braves Fan Show on Fan Media Network.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, create a profile in Fan Media Network. Then look for the news page in our website and fan show resources page. Help yourself. We give show hosts a show graphic in team colors, a simple short show format, tips on pre- and post-production, ideas to get fans and guests on your show, Apple News distribution and show sponsorship sales and services to help featured show hosts earn money. Show hosts use our iPhone app to publish their shows. Our website supports Android users.